Officially, good morning. Welcome, everyone, to the Market Watch Group Monday Market Kickoff. My name is Scott. I will be your host. As always, let me remind you that our service is for educational, illustrative purposes only. Nothing we say is intended to be a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors, yada, yada, yada. Okay. What are we going to talk about today? Opening futures and news. Futures are good. The news is just sort of the rumor of the tariffs, right? It may be targeted. It may be less than everyone thought. And, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like just, let the stock market make new highs and be like, oh, look, everyone, it's making new highs because of me. Great. Okay. We'll look at the economic calendar and look at our posture as we transition into this. Our posture dropped only a quarter of a point, which to me means it's stabilized. So we had like boom, boom, boom. Let's go look at it. Let's look at it while we're talking about it. Where did it go? It disappeared. Son of a gun. Thought I had everything ready. Let me grab it. Posture log. There it is. So yeah, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row of just like boom, steady decline. And then we had our first week of stability. Would we think some buyers can come from this next? Yeah, I think so. Why not? Why would we not think that? Morning, Kevin. Good to see you. What changed? Long term stayed the same. Short term stayed the same. Volume actually got better. Volume improved a quarter of a point. Major market dropped a quarter of a point. Sector rotation dropped a quarter of a point, went negative. Now, just notice that volume, major market, and sector rotation are all negative. Short term's barely hanging on, as is the VIX. The long term is the surest sign of stability that we have. Okay. Okay. What else? Mindset for open trades. I wouldn't expect you have many. Maybe you have a bull or two. Maybe you have a bear or two. I closed my bear. Went against me, so I'm not worried about that. Still have a couple of bullish pieces. Half a piece of one and the full piece of the other. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Nice bullish start of the day. Good. Got a little on. Cut the loss where I needed to when I was wrong. We have a bullish watch list. Did everybody see? Someone asked about it yesterday. They said, "Hey, can you give us that bullish and bearish list?" I said, "I do every week. It's in the email. It's in the summary postings. If you miss a class, just come and look, and you can get a quick summary of what's going on. You can see the watch list. You can watch the video if you want to." Yeah. Okay. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Let's go look. Okay. You can see what the last 4 weeks looks like, why our posture did what it did, right? But the last thing that we want to do is end up bearish or strongly bearish, reacting to the market dropping right when things start to stabilize, right? We even said, hey, at this point, that's different than everything else we saw. And it kind of had a pullback, And here we are looking to start somewhere up in this area. I believe it's going to look like that. I'm going to pull up the ES and see if it'll fit my drawing. Ooh, okay. It was close. It was close. I don't know how I missed it like that. All right, so we're possibly breaking here. Remember what I said. If this is the bottom, it's going to be hard to get in now. I mean, I still think we'll have some opportunities. We've got a pretty good list. Now, so what our thought process is this was kind of a flag type pattern coming out of there. And if that's the situation, this would be a breakout now. Is it a breakout at 9:30 in the morning? No, that can't be, right? We know that. We know that this thing has plenty of opportunity to come back down and even end up back inside of this, right? If it drops back to there, it would be back inside of the flag. And you'd be like, oh, wait a second. We're not done here yet. This is simply the start. It's a long day. They always are. It's a long day. But this does tell us that we have 1.1%. Let's go look at the Sign's order to eliminate the Department of Education. My understanding is that's like a hugely unpopular policy. No, like the desire to do that. They apparently are moving student loans under the SBA while cutting the SBA's. Like I feel like we're heading for like some hell of a shit show with this. I don't understand it. Putting it back to the states. Have you seen some of the states' educational performance? It's abysmal. I'm just saying. My kids are graduated. I'm fine. One's done with college. The other one's halfway through. I feel like I no longer have a horse in the race, but it doesn't make sense to me. Futures. This doesn't look right. Let me update this. Anyways. Yeah, that was old. That was last week. Stocks show tariffs are still the primary catalyst. Morning's rally underscores how Trump's policy remains key. You mean like taking the policy off? That's what remains key. Take the tariffs off, and the market will go up. Keep them on, things will drop. I mean, it's like it really feels pretty. Have I seen how the entirety of the U.S. is doing it? I don't disagree that we need educational reform. Right? Like, 100%. But rather than like, be like, all right, let's have all 50 states do it differently and then see where it all ends up. I don't know. I think we could learn a lot, like internationally. There's a lot of international things going on in education that you're like, wow, that's astounding that we just don't do here. We just like, it's the same thing we did in the 1950s, right? You go to the class for the same periods and you still get A, B, C, right? It's just like the same thing. Anyway, all right. Yeah. U.S. stock futures jump amid hopes for targeted tariffs. It's all tariff-based. Again, if we look at the economic calendar. Is there any plan to replace it? No, they're just looking to basically say, we're going to give it to the states to do. And you're like, oh. Lived abroad for 10 years with school-aged children. Yeah. Yeah. I lived abroad when I was in school, but I actually went to a private. I was not in the it was France. I was not in the French school system. I went to an American school. So it doesn't really count. And that was a long, long time ago. But it was very interesting. It was very interesting because actually I went to an American school, and right next door to us was a high school that was a hotel and restaurant management high school. Like you either are in the IB program, which is like super intense, and then you go to college, or you go to trade school in high school. So like you learn to right. So it's very interesting the way that they're like, hey, if you're not gonna go on to college, just become a mechanic and learn to trade. Super interesting. Anyway, back to it. Let's go watch the Open. We'll get distracted by it. There's the Open on the ES. Let's go back to the SPY. Yeah, I do too. I mean, some of the things they do, like in Japan, where they have kids prepare their own food, and they learn to prepare. Like they're like these kids are like just like they're making their lunch. They eat healthier. They learn it's just like that's awesome. Why would we not do something like that? The lunch ladies, man, scary with their hairnets, and you're like wondering, do they kill kids? I don't know. They could. That's what I thought when I was a kid. We gapped up. Where did we gap up to? Here's the problem. Oh man, we got right. We've been here. We were here. We were here on the 19th. We were here on the 20th. We were at this 570.95 level. We were here at 570.57, and here we are at 570.33 now, but 570.90. So this isn't like we broke out. This is look, we tested the highs. What do you guys think? I just don't think that's convincing. Now, what that means is that for us to want to trade at the end of the day, I need that. Whoops. Leave my drawing in place. I need this. At least. If that looks like that, then we can say, oh yeah, looks like we're breaking out. Children should be taught to handle money, have positive relationships. Oh my God, right? Yeah, totally. Totally. Reform. I believe in that 100%. Reform. But throwing it to the states is like turning it into Lord of the Flies, Rich states will have better educated kids. It'll just be a mess. I mean, right now, the rural states here, like, your Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, right? They're in the bottom 10 all the time. And that's with federal money. You think if you cut the federal money, Utah's not far. I think Utah's in the bottom 10 as well. Like I'm not bragging what we have here. But anyways. It's an interesting situation because I think, and if you look at those rural states, those are more Republican states. Like do you not see, 6-7 dominoes down? Do you not see what's happening? No one sees that. Oh, not good. Anyways, okay, so if it looks like this, yes, thank you, Kami. That's a good point. Inner cities are just as bad, right? It's like the rural and the inner city. It's like the suburbs are going to be fine, and then everybody else, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to create what they think it's going to create. If by the end of the day we look like this and we give it back, or even more so, right? If we get even more than that back, we're right back in the mix of this consolidation. And we might still think this thing is going to turn around and still give it a consolidation back towards the old low. So where will all that money go to? Oh, billionaire tax cuts, of course, obviously. Tax cuts that are likely to more benefit the rich. That's, if I had to guess, that's where I would say. Okay. Anyone else want to weigh in on where that money goes? Let me know. I'm all ears. Stephen, where do you think it's going? That's a good question. Who benefits from that? I know who benefited last time. And I know the proposal this time. It's anyway. Okay. Opening range tells us what? Nothing yet. Yeah, just kind of flat. Opened, sold off a little, came back, just kind of sitting there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get to our watch list and see what we have that's working. Unfortunately, 100% believe that. So the Trump did very well. Well, I'm a believer I believe in trends. So if you look at what Trump did and you say, hey, the stock market did well, I'd say, what was it doing before? And if you look at the trend and it just continued, I'd be like, great, he didn't break it. Although, if you look at jobs, if you look at, put the metrics up, look at what it was doing. If you find something that was bad and then there was a policy and then you saw that, and I'm a data-based person. I agree with you, Kami. Facts are facts. What was it doing? But we also have to say, what are we attributing that to? Are we saying that there was a policy and it reversed something, or was it already going that way? Right? Was everything fine? What was given? Right? So like this time, everyone wants to be like, oh, we were handed something terrible. Come on. The jobs were good. Inflation certainly was problematic global wide, was already coming down though, right? I mean, it is what it is. We're in a pretty good place. And if this thing is botched, it's because of tariffs that have no real purpose. Like when you hear him talk about them and you think he fundamentally doesn't understand how they work and who pays them and what the objective of them are. I don't know. That's just me. I'm 100% to say what went well, what didn't go well. 2017 was a phenomenal trading year, which was his first year. Phenomenal trading year. Obviously COVID was interesting. Our market was due for due for is what we call gambler's fallacy. Look, you can look that one up. When you say the words due for, that's when you say, I just flipped a coin 6 times and all came up heads. It's due for tails. It's not. It's 50-50, right? Gambler's fallacy. So let's be careful about due first, because then we're like, oh, we're due for this. If we have to be willing to say this market is where it is because of policies of tariffs, right? Like it just doesn't make sense not to say that. We're just not acknowledging what's going on if that's the case. So, had we not had tariffs, we would have had it was due for more bullishness. That's right. Anyways. Okay. Let's keep going. I mean, yes, corrections do happen. And they will happen for various reasons, right? So if a correction didn't happen now, is there a chance we would have had a correction in May? Yeah. After we had a great spring window, a May correction because of whatever else. But this correction was manufactured by tariffs. It's that simple, right? Doesn't make sense to attribute it to anything else. Let's go look at some charts. I actually still had Apple on my bearish list, and you can see struggling here. You can see it gapped up, but it's hasn't got even back above this period here, this level here, this support level. I'm unconvinced, still on my bear list. AbbVie, I closed mine, but it does look like it's trying to hold this support level. If it turned around, I'd maybe think about it again, but if you're in it, it's holding support as of now. AEE, not sure what we think about that. Okay, so Amazon. So all of a sudden, what? We're starting to look for these instances of buyers that are breaking consolidation lines, right? And then what are we looking for? Does it pull back? Give me a higher low? That's tradable right there. That's all I need. Something along those lines. It's up 480, up 2.5%. So here's the deal, right? And you know, is there excitement about the market being up? Sure, we want to see it more bullish. Or you guys know I want to be bullish. That's my preference. I'd rather be bullish. Am I going to trade this bullish breakout? It's 11 minutes into the market. My posture is a 0. I need to be convinced of things, right? I need the buyers to convince me more than just, hey, look, we're up in the first 11 minutes. And so, let's see what this does. Is it looking like maybe things are starting to develop? Absolutely. Baba, not yet, but Baba could be settling for, just made a new high. The trend could be shifting into something that looks more like this, right? But you can see we're oversold down here. If this holds support and can turn out of it, and this thing can turn out of this, we may have something this week. That's on my bullish list, Baba. Financials are interesting right now, right? Because it's like Bank of America. It's pretty much completed the V. So Bank of America, I'm not willing to trade. I've taken it off my bearish list. I'm not bearish on that. But some of them still I still had BX on my list. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Today it's up $4. And it's like, is it? Or do we think, you know what? I'm actually at this point starting to think that's too much. I don't want to buy a put and watch it just kind of eke back, and then all of a sudden it's doing this, and I'm scrambling thinking, well, wait a second. This thing has completed the reversal pattern that we talk about. I'm taking that off my bear list. Anything that starts to show, what are we looking for? We're looking for supply and demand. And right here, we're seeing the demand show something that it really hasn't shown in quite a while. The bulls are fighting. They opened it, right? We'll see what their staying power is throughout the day because it's, as we said, 6.5 hours is a long time. 13 minutes in. The problem is, that, one world leader, it doesn't matter. It could be from Mexico or Canada or Greenland or Norway or Germany or, it could be like in China and says one thing and then it's like, wow, I'm going to put a tariff on you for saying that. Like it really feels chaotic, right? So I don't know how much I don't know how much I just look at this and think, yeah, this is the breakout. I want to be convinced. Looking for finance to rebound. Took a long call back in February. On what? On which one? There's CIN. You can see we're starting to see, like, that's what we're wondering. Do we gap up and then watch these things just sort of like sink back down, and then just it's like, wait a second, we didn't even get anywhere yet. So CLS, that was the one I was looking for here. Closed here. And take the loss when you're supposed to take the loss. CME. CME is a beautiful looking setup. This is perfect. Just got this new high. We have this pulling back. I would put my window of tradability anywhere through there. This thing, I could even, this is going to come up, maybe even lower than that, to be honest. I mean, it's been riding above its 50-day for so long, even if it had a little bit more than that. That looks quite strong. Cisco trying to break back above its 50 there. Delta. So you can see some things are trying. They're trying. The question is, do we want to trade any of them? So if you have something bouncing like on CME, but that hasn't bounced yet, that's just a standard trade. If you were trying to trade into something, Duke looks very much that same way, right? Looking for a utilities trade here on Duke. You might have to consider trades from a Heiken-Ashey perspective, a continuation perspective, depending on how the trade goes. Here's FI. This is financials. You can see there's still some concern here, right? Like, it's like maybe if it gives the higher low, you feel a little better about it. But this one here, FI. Yeah, even that, I got to say, I had some of these on my bearish list. I'm taking them off. It's too high now. Now, at this point, I think it's going to do something like this and start moving again. Let me erase this. Let me go back 1 year. Nope. Yeah, so you can see something like back here. What happened? The first time it went up, pulled back, and turned. This is where it kind of opened the door. Nice trade there. Got a trade there. A trade here. So that's what we're thinking is if it does the higher low, if it gets back and pulls back for us, that's what we're hoping to see. Fox. Ooh, I think Fox. I had Fox on my bear list, and you can see Fox is struggling right now. Opened higher, gave it all back. Stochastics is rolling, so that might be one that I would still maybe look at for a bear run to the downside. GE Vernova. I had it on my bear list. I took it off because it made it. This is. I don't buy weakness, and I don't sell strength. And this looks like strength, right? Now, if it had gone up to here and started to roll over and then turned, then we think, oh, the consolidation is still happening, and we think this thing's going to keep heading down. That's the difference here. So everything we're looking at right now, because a lot of us, when it was falling, we're like, oh, I'm starting to feel more bearish. I get that. And that's the problem is, Steven says, well, we're due for a correction. Well, then you can't get bearish if you think it's due for a correction, right? Like that's that's going to be conflicting ideology, in that you can be like, oh, I'm hedging a little bit, but if we're like, this is just a consolidation, I'm bullish, well, then we're not going to get bearish, right? Whereas for me, I think, if it's a consolidation, then my posture is going to stay low, or my posture is going to start to recover. It's going to start to turn back up, and I can start to trade more bullishly. Okay, when I see that, I'll do that. I don't think it. I don't feel it. I don't believe it, right? What I need to see these things happening. What do I see right now? I see just the first wave of strength that says, you know what? This could be something. What if it drops all the way back down to here? Well, then we're going to be like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Right? Maybe things actually just got worse. Wait, we don't know. Sell in May and go away. That's not far, and we didn't get much for a rally in front of it. It's not like summer brings good trading. Now, we've had times where the summers are pretty good. It's not like that can't happen. I'm just saying cyclically, it's less likely to. GILD. Still sitting on that 50. I would actually say if this thing can bounce from here and this pops up out, yeah, I think it's worth a run. I think we could build a trade that would make us a good 2.5, 3 to 1, just looking to catch the old high. We don't even need to be like, oh, it's going to get a new high way up here. It still has some bullishness. Healthcare has shown some momentum. Gold is consolidating. Let me get back to a smaller chart. Nice little flag pattern here, but I'm not going to trade it. I don't trade gold for some reason, precious metals. Google doesn't look good at all. Still in its consolidation, even with today's buying. So Google's still down. That's an 800-pound gorilla in the communication services space. Goldman. Okay, Goldman. I think I've officially pulled pretty much all financials off of my bear list. I agree that financials are trying to make a run here. I agree. That's enough for me to be like, yeah, that's a big move. Is it going to get to the 50? Maybe. It's the next one that we're going to think, hey, that might be it for us. That's what we're looking for there, is something like that. Now, some people are like, can I go ahead and trade it now? Waiting for the market to price in the April tariffs. Well, I mean, it can't really price them in until it knows them, right? So you're saying not until April 2nd. All it's doing now is pricing in rumors, and that's a scary thing with this administration, the concept of rumors. From a reality TV show, man. Okay. Bullish. Tune in next week. Yeah, I'd say that definitely is enough to convince me to be bullish. Robinhood, bullish. Same thing, right? Supply and demand. What do you see here? You see the demand showing strength that it hasn't shown for quite a while. HTHT just kind of sitting. HWM a little overextended. IBIT. I'm not convinced yet, but yeah, that's looking better still too. Doesn't the market price in changes before they happen? I mean, kind of. The problem is, what are they pricing in? An unknown variable from someone who's prone to changing on a whim. So what you tell me how comfortable you are pricing that in. You know as well as I do the likelihood that we know anything concrete, right? I'm not saying anything other than stating fact of uncertainty. That's the fact. It will be uncertain. We don't have I mean, look, I saw Fox News Maria Bartiromo saying, hey, just, we got to have certainty. Is that coming? He's like, well, yeah, it's coming, but we may raise them and we may lower them. And she's like, that's not certainty. Okay, IBM, waiting till that's what I was wondering. Are you waiting all the way until the announcement comes? Someone tell me if they've heard this or not. Tell me. I hope this is not true, but my understanding is that they're mailing envelopes, and each country's envelope contains different amounts, and it's like they have like an unveiling of what their tariffs are. I heard that, and I was like, please tell me that's not true. Please. Does anybody know? I need to know if that's like what's actually happening in this thing. IBM is just kind of sinking a little bit. Nothing really there. I might even take that off my list soon. ICE still looks good, but it's overextended. IWM. Kevin. That's perfect. The tariff reveal party. Oh my God. So funny. We need to coin that and talk, because I think that's what it actually is. So funny. KMB. What will it be? Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy. They should have like a slot machine that they pull, and it's like doot, doot, doot. KMB, no. The three I chose of these, mine was Kroger. Let's see if I'm still picking one that looks. Yeah, see, that feels like it's got a nice new high. It pulls back. It's finding this support. Let's just see if this thing can turn. That's the one I'm kind of looking for there. MasterCard, even that one's, I feel like it's done enough. Steven, tell me when you hear if that's true about something like a tariff reveal party. Does that make you lose confidence to some extent? Like, oh, come on, man, just like do business. Or do you feel like he's such a great genius that I'm just going to place my full faith and hope that it's going to work out? I need to understand so I can develop a better perspective for the next few years. Sounds like rumors. Oh, let's look it up. I'm going to look it up. We'll talk about it tonight. I hope it's rumors. Although now that we called it the tariff reveal party, I'm a little bit starting to come around. Meta trying. Look, if you draw the line, I'm saying that Meta's maybe doing, like, if we can see a few of these things start, then maybe consolidation is indeed where it is. Now, are we hopeful that we V off of the consolidation? Of course, we would rather V off of it, but is there a chance that we double bottom and test that low again at least? Of course. Yeah, we have to be. Still worried about that. Morgan, another big bull run on a financial. So that's optimistic there for us to see the financials make that run. I feel like that's optimistic. Did anybody happen to like just real quickly look it up and see? Did anybody happen to look up and see? Is there a tariff reveal party? I gotta know. Netflix, there's another one from Communication Services with a nice big run up. So Netflix and Meta, yes. Google, no. 2 out of 3. That's pretty good. Right? That's pretty good. There we go. That's another one that I held on to. Prior trade, I have stock, so I don't have to worry too much about time. Back to the highs. Nice to see. Nvidia. Okay. Boom. Whoops. That's a little too far. boom, boom, boom. And if at the end of the day it looks like maybe a little higher than it needs to be back to this, and this has turned up, yeah, NVIDIA's moved to my bull list. I like that. I think that looks good. I think that there's some things starting to show like patterns of recovery. PLTR, look at you, PLTR. That would be, I would go there if I was doing that trade and putting on a stop underneath it. The problem with this is the stop down here underneath this low, you're talking 8 points. Now, 8 points is fine. If you think it's getting back to 110, that's 16. That's a 2-to-1. If you think back to 120, that's 3-to-1. So if you think it's going to make that kind of a run, vol is high, I don't know. I'm thinking about this one. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. Maybe a spread trade where I put time on my side, put this thing on until this April date. You can see the expiration here on this dotted line. Making a run back for this. So maybe like a 100, 105 spread that if we get I'm thinking about it. PM, still trying to maybe have a little hiccup bounce trade there. I would think about that one. NASDAQ today making a bump. That's going to be useful this week. If this holds, it's a good start of the day, but it's still just 30 minutes in. Roblox. Bullish. Reddit. No, not yet. Rocket Labs, maybe. RTX flagging. That might go fast. The way people are talking about Europe, talking about defense spending, things like that. Certainly, and it's not just this one. Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, things like that. There's some momentum in these defense stocks, not defensive stocks, but actual defense stocks. SE's on my bullish list, and that's one that I'm thinking looks enticing as well. There's a couple of bullish things. I want you to notice that SE, RTX, NVIDIA, PLTR, they're all on our bull list. It's on your email. It's on your post. Toast, not yet. TPR, not yet. Tesla. Ooh, Tesla trying to come back. There, it broke this consolidation. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief that Elon Musk is now worth over $200 billion again. Everyone can, he was getting treated so unfairly there for a while. I know we all were hearing about that. It's horrible. That poor billionaire. But it's breaking out. If you like trading it, there may be something on the pullback. TSM. Don't worry, Elon. You'll get a tax cut soon. Definitely broke its consolidation. Isn't the tax plan been out? Isn't it sort of already shown to be leaning much more towards the upper class than the lower class? I feel like that's already been evaluated and talked about. I feel like I'm even behind on that. I have a hard time keeping up politically. Visa looking bullish. What's the VIX doing today? Yeah, it's down. It's down, but it's not down enough yet for me. The level that I'm looking for is here, right through there, which is it went up and then it pulled back to this level. So that to me is why this is important right there. You guys see that? So that's the level I'm looking for it to come down to. So if it by the end of the day is back like this and then it turns, I'm going to be like, whoa, wait a second. I heard he's talking about no tax if income. I mean, yeah, that's like no taxes on tips and no tax. Like he throws things out there, but that's not actually in a proposed plan that Congress would pass. It's my understanding. Maybe. And then what? a progressive rate after that. Anyway, Walmart still kind of down in the dregs. Okay, we're a little over. I'm not going to go through the X's. If anything here, if anything, we have bullishness developing today. If it holds, that's the question. Does it hold? If it holds, there's a good chance to put a bull trade on and see if it continues moving in a V-type fashion, a upward moving fashion. A lot less inclined, especially as the financials have recovered toward and the technology have recovered towards anything bearish. So, yeah, right now there's some good signs that have us thinking we may just be able to escape with a correction, though we may correct into sideways. I'm not like, oh, we're going to correct and then move into a bull market. I think, we're going to correct and move into it may be a while before the Fed hits, and the summer may be just kind of sideways. So time decay strategies could be helpful. So no envelopes? Okay, Steven. Okay. Maybe the tariff reveal party is not on. But I don't understand, because that can't be. Otherwise, why would they not just announce it? That would just be a simple thing. They're saying that they're going to announce targeted tariffs, which makes me feel like the tariff reveal party. Targeted is not reciprocal. Those are different messages. And although inconsistent messaging is about as the most consistent thing we have. Okay. Okay. We'll see if the envelopes happen. I kind of feel like that's going to happen now in my mind. It's good to see everybody. Keep your eyes out. Market stays bullish. Good chance for an alert. We'll be on tonight for an hour for a chit chat. I'm going to go make sure. It should be the earlier time. 8 to 9. I used to say 8:30. The calendar kept reverting back. I don't know what the hell was going on. 8 to 9. I'll go make sure it says it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. As always, happy trading.
Recording stopped.